Love and marriage. Let's talk about love and marriage. So I'm gonna play this video, and then we're gonna talk about what we've seen there. We're gonna talk about the other couples as well.
All
There's
right.
a show on OWN that we also watch. This is the third season, or second season actually, second official season. But they did
Official.
like a pilot or
A
something
pilot.
like that.
Yeah.
All right. So it's called Love and Marriage. Don't worry if you haven't watched it. We'll talk about things that you can relate to and the behaviors. I'm going to play a video. You may not see it if you're on Instagram. You can see it anywhere, actually. You have to watch the recording later to see it because it just told me that it was too long
Oh.
for the streaming software.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and play this video. And just listen. If you're on Instagram, just listen to the conversation and then we'll talk about it. I guarantee you everything you're learning here is new. They don't teach them in churches. They don't teach them in most marriage boot camps or marriage seminars. You damn sure you're not going to get this from a 2-hour session, counseling session. Okay. But not especially if you're already going through crisis. Okay. Which is why a lot of people waste a lot of money doing that and they still end up in a bad
Terrible
situation.
place. Yeah.
All right. So let's play this video.
Okay, moms and wives, our day-to-day schedule fill up. Me from all of the different activities with the kids, helping them with their schoolwork, and let's not forget to make sure the house is clean, dinner is served at a certain time, and taking care of the man of the house. Okay, after taking care of everybody around us, we tend to forget about the most important person. Yes, that's right, you. I remember in 2015 looking in the mirror and asking myself, who is this girl looking back at me? Okay, I have to get ready to go. I don't have much time. Tonight is a very big night for me. It's been a long journey coming. I am extremely proud of me. I mean, it feels really good to say I want to do something and you see.
All right. So let's pause it there real quickly. What's happening is that there's this couple, Marsau and what's her name? Latisha?
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
Tisha. This is called Latisha, right?
Latisha.
So these guys are basically real estate developers in Huntsville, Alabama, and they showcase their life. It was supposed to be about real estate and marriage, but
So
as usual,
they ended up being about
the
marriage.
secrets, there are people now invested, the whole world is invested in their story now. So it's now about their marriage and the infidelities and their secrets and stuff like that. And there were 3 couples. There's Melody and Mattel. Is that it?
Yeah. Mattel.
Okay. Melody and Mattel. There's also Maurice and
Kimmy.
Kemi. And
Kimmy.
I call her Kemi. But
Whatever. It's Kimmy. Not Kimmy.
Yeah. But there's also this couple that you were just hearing. The lady is basically she's preparing for. Tommy, see what's up, bro? The lady is preparing for a speech.
Yes.
So she was a housewife at some point. It was a big struggle for her to convince her husband that she wanted to work. Okay. Now if Marsau is listening to me right now because he was going back and forth with me on Instagram and people in general. He was answering,
was responding,
and he's defensive. That's one of the signs of insecure men, by the way. So we're going to talk about 14 signs of insecure men in a second here. And defensiveness is what will make somebody who enjoys millions upon millions of views feel the need to go be responding to people on social media. That's defensiveness. That's insecurity. That's just what that is. Okay. And it's not about right and wrong. He could be right and still be insecure. That's 2 truths that can exist together.
It's a weakness. Hey,
all right.
Look at it that way.
So she's preparing for a speech. So she managed to it's like tooth and nail to convince. Finally, she started to work as a realtor. She's doing speech, podcast, and stuff like that. So she's having a speech. She's preparing a speech, and she decided to read it to this dude.
I think he had something to do with empowerment for women.
So she's telling her story. So now, dude decided that Auntie Gladys, boom, yes. Now she decided to share with her husband her speech that she's about to have, and basically in that speech she mentioned how she was feeling not adequate, how she was a mother. She was feeling like she was losing herself. And all she needed, she already dressed up. All she needed was encouragement. That's all a woman needs, just to be encouraged in that moment in time. Just to be the cheerleader for a minute.
Yeah, be my fan for a minute.
But of course, insecure men don't ever catch that. What they catch is an offense. So when you catch an offense or you feel like you've been attacked, what do? You defend, right? And that's exactly what he did in that scene. And you're about to hear his response. So what you just heard was basically her reading out what the speech was going to be about. And then you'll see her response in a second. I'm going to play it right now.
Response.
Yeah, I always confuse him and her.
It's
Sorry.
okay. That's why you got me.
Yourself moving in that direction. You got the kids and everything, right?
You said what?
You know I didn't cook dinner, so that's on you. Can you take
She
it?
said, well, at what point is this okay?
I was trying to, but then I started practicing for the speech.
T, you know what's funny? You know what's really funny about this? You can take this however you want to take it, but in 2015 you say I'm losing me and I gotta focus on me. All right? Listen, there's never a time where I'm like, I gotta focus on me. When I was
So in her speech, she said, I got to focus on me. And the dude caught that in the speech that he was supposed to be reading for, just to say, oh, yeah, this looks good. I'm not saying you should lie to your wife. But as far as dissecting the truth, her truth that's inside of that speech, it takes a grown man. It's a grown man business to not dissect her truth. Know that her truth is different from his truth.
I think that's how she sees it.
Right?
Come on.
Right? All of our perceptions are different from people to people. It takes grown folks, only grown folks understand that. Everybody else, which is majority of the population that you know out here, will catch an offense. Okay? And it's just a terrible place for a man to be, because what happens is that you're building this monster. She's also happened to be the one that doesn't talk or express her feelings.
Yes.
And when she does, it's sugar-coated with a bunch of nonsense. She's always trying to make him feel better. And he doesn't see that, because he sees that it's just as always how to.
Yeah, Ezekiel.
Right?
It's huge.
He's the man of the house, but that's not how to be the leader. It's not about being quote unquote
Looking for accolades all the time.
It's about being a leader, and a leader is not always the loudest. We got 20 seconds on Instagram. Here's what I'm going to tell you. If you're watching me actively on Instagram right now, go to lolaandola.com/live. You got 12 seconds. Go to lolaandola.com/live and join us on YouTube, and then we'll continue the conversation.
Yes.
All right?
Yes,
If you can't,
thank
sorry.
you.
Peace. All right.
Oh,
so
wow, we ended like that.
yeah, just like that. I said not to make a drama of it earlier.
Okay.
So anyway, so let's continue the conversation.
Right.
011. Let's post that. All right. What's going on, YouTube, Facebook?
Yes.
This is gonna be sweet. All right. So now is you will hear. So you're starting to respond right now, basically to say everything he felt was wrong. Okay. And we should just continue that. Okay.
stay-at-home wife, you know what that means? That means every single dime that comes in my check goes to my family. Everything. Right?
Right.
That's not me doing me. That's me doing what needs to be done for the family. And
all right, so let's talk about this. I guess we're gonna have to make it fun like this. So basically, when there's a crisis, it's not often when the person already checked out and they're filing for divorce.
Right.
It starts way long before that, and it starts with conversations like this. When a woman says, "I felt like I was losing myself." Yes, she was a housewife. I felt like you had all the time to yourself. You were just living your life. Okay. Please feel free to interrupt me if you have any input.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But this is for the fellas, for the most part, because we're talking about insecure men. You will see all the signs in a second. We're going to talk about all the signs, right? And so she's expressing how she feelings. These are feelings. Feelings are not the same thing as reality. Okay, it's either exaggerated or underrated.
Right.
Is that an English word?
Exaggerated. What do you mean really? Don't use that word ever again.
All right, sorry. When people express their feelings, doesn't matter if you're a man or woman or anywhere you come from in the world, if you're expressing your feeling, it's not accurate. It's usually not accurate. It's that person's truth. Okay. That's why, for years people have been arguing with me that truth changes, fact changes, truth don't change. That's not true. What changes is people's truth based on individuality, the culture they come from, the religion they're operating from, the moral compass they're operating from. All of those things are the things that shapes truth for people, So with that being said, this guy is now defending basically that he went out there, but he wasn't having a good time. Now, a king, and some people don't like this. They think I'm manipulating when I say king. Whatever.
Maybe they don't feel like
you're in the wrong audience. Go to another video, right?
They don't want to hear that. What do you mean a king?
A king does not seek validation from your wife. Yes, it's looking in that conversation like it's the one with the upper hand, right? Because he's correcting his wife. The truth is that he's seeking validation. If you were truly the man of the house, emotionally, we get it. Financially, you got that part figured out.
Yeah.
But what about emotionally? If you're so sure that you were solid emotionally, the only thing you should be doing is proving that at that point in time by listening to her. Yes, your idea of what happened may be different, but you need to now patiently listen to her and see where she's coming from. Where could she be coming from? Why did she feel that way? At the very minimum, you guys, what you remember are different from people to people. But somehow she sees something different. The last thing you want to do is argue with her at that point in time. Okay? And you may be right. She may be completely wrong.
I mean, what is getting wrong over there is the fact that he feels attacked. Because she's speaking her truth, don't mean it has anything to do with you. She said she was lost.
She was
in
lost.
2015.
So the question now, let me act like Marsau. Why were you lost? I was paying the bills.
Because
you were
it's
living
not
the
about
life.
the bills. It's not about the bills. It's not about the money. It's about how she felt in that moment. Like
Baby, you're saying that because you didn't have to worry about the bills. You're saying that because you didn't. If you had to worry about the bills, maybe it would be about the money suddenly. Maybe you're just spoiled. All right. So now, again, he could be right, she could be wrong. But the problem is that they've got a problem.
Well, he has
From
a
an
problem
emotional
with
standpoint.
listening to his wife.
Yeah.
And that's been consistent from the first season.
From the beginning.
Yes, he comes off as a controlling human being.
From when
He
they
wants
wanted
things
to,
a certain way.
from when she wanted to start working, she felt like she was home a lot. She couldn't find.
She needed a
the
break.
person can't find themselves. It's never about you.
Uh-uh.
If somebody feels lost, yes, in a relationship with you, and I know you took it as an attack, you were supposed to be the man to make her feel good, but somehow you couldn't. You know why? Because your happiness is not really in your hands.
No, it's not.
She needs to make herself happy. But now, if you're blocking her from exploring, because even going to work may not be what she really needs, but how is she gonna know
if she doesn't?
Yeah,
exactly.
Because remember, you don't know pain if you don't know what pleasure is. You don't know pleasure if you don't know what pain is. It's the frame of reference that allow us to identify these things, right? A blind man will see anything, ironic, right? See anything and thinks it's beautiful. Because they don't know what they're saying. They don't have the frame of reference that you with open eyes see. Or their ears are a lot sharper than yours because that sense is heightened because of they use it a lot more than you. Right? So these are the struggles that people are going through out there, and it's quite confusing. I get it. It's confusing. But what? So I can't just correct my wife? No, if you haven't listened to her. Wait, let me take that back. If she hasn't felt heard.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem right there.
No, you can't.
can express
I mean,
herself.
you can correct that, but it will create a negative effect.
Right.
Okay, it's to create the opposite of what you're trying to accomplish. What Marsau wants, let's be fair to Marsau. I'm sure that's what he wanted. That's why he was answering all those comments on Instagram. Let's be fair to Marsau. What you really want is a wife who is happy. Why don't we just work on that? Happiness is an emotion.
I think he feel like he has failed. And that, like, why you not happy? I tried my best to make you happy, but it's not about him.
It's not about you.
That moment.
What she's lacking, from what I can see, is space so that she can explore. If you give her that, remember you're trying to give her everything that will make her happy. How about give her that? Oh yeah, that's gonna make you have to babysit sometimes and maybe cook sometimes, right? I get it. But again, you go into a relationship.
You don't have to
give.
cook, you can order.
Here's what I'll tell you.
Make your life easy.
It's temporary. Whatever it is right now that's going on is temporary. But what happens is that insecure men don't see these things as temporary.
They feel threatened.
They feel threatened. They feel like, oh my God, she's
my life
about to change my whole life. She wants a job. That's not what we planned 10 years ago. Listen, a woman can change her mind just like you can change your mind.
Oh, yeah.
People change their mind all the time. As humans, we change our minds. And you should have room for that if you want to have a relationship.
Yeah, we grow, we evolve. Come on.
You know, if she says, I think I want to go find a job, that's how she feels. The last thing you want to do is take that freedom to feel that way in that moment away from her. It's all about the feelings. It's not about the money that you've been paying and the bills you've been paying. You went out there, yes, you were, but you forgot that you also love the idea that you're out there. Okay, maybe you didn't, but you also have the freedom to express yourself. Like, I don't like this job. I don't like being in real estate anymore. You also have that freedom. You wouldn't need to come to her to ask for permission.
To ask,
if suddenly you don't want to be in real estate anymore.
You'll be like, as long as the bills are getting paid, I don't have to discuss that with you. That's right.
Not the only plus. The second plus to that is that you have a woman who would not question you if you decide to do that. That's the dynamics that they have. Anyway, you know, she doesn't question if he does anything, he decides business. As a matter of fact, she goes to him to seek counsel when it comes to business, which is, again, another reason why she's sharing this speech with you. But there's a problem. She's expressed herself, her truth, but you took an offense. You know, so let's continue. This is deep. What I'll do is, at some point, I may have to fly through the list.
Okay, moms and wives, our day-to-day schedule fill up. I mean, from all of the different activities with the kids, helping them with their schoolwork, and let's not forget to make sure the house is clean, dinner is served at a certain time, and taking care of the man of the house. Okay, after taking care of everybody around us, we tend to forget about the most important person. Yes, that's right, you. I remember in 2015 looking in the mirror and asking myself, who is this girl looking back at me? Okay, I have to get ready to go. I don't have much time. Tonight is a very big night for me. It's been a long journey coming. I am extremely proud of me. I mean, it feels really good to say, I want to do something, and you see yourself moving in that direction. You got the kids and everything, right?
You said what?
You know, I didn't cook dinner, so that's on you. Can you take care of it?
Well, at what point is this okay?
I was trying to, but then I started practicing for the speech.
T, you know what's funny? You know what's really funny about this? You can take this however you want to take it, but in 2015 you say, I'm losing me and I got to focus on me. All right? Listen, there's never a time where I'm like, I gotta focus on me. When I have a stay-at-home wife, you know what that means? That means every single dime that comes in my check goes to my family. Everything. Right?
Right.
That's not me doing me.
All right, so that's a lot right there already. I think we should dissect that. He said there's never a time that I've had to focus on me. How would you receive that as a woman?
But I think part of him paying the bills makes him feel good as a man.
You think?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's you thinking now, babe. Come on. That's not fair.
What do you mean that's not fair?
That's you thinking. You don't know that for a fact. Maybe he's doing it just because, he maybe he feels that's just obligation. That's what a man does. I mean, women would be quick to tell you that too.
Then he'll be open to his wife getting a job and splitting the bills with him. Okay?
Oh,
He enjoys that part. That part makes it boost his ego. He feels proud to be able to provide for his family. So you cannot use that as a manipulation tool. You just can't. Because if you don't want to do that, you also have the right to express that, babe, maybe we should do 80-20 or 70-30. But he never said
which is
that.
still not fair. Why don't we just do 50-50?
Oh, you could say 50-50 and she can decide maybe she want to be with this kind of guy or not. You know?
Yeah.
But you enjoy that. You enjoy that, having a woman to take care of, like, oh, I take care of my family. There's pride in that for a man.
Yeah.
At least for men that I know that do that. I don't know about every man. Because this new
For
modern age.
so the correct word
men
for people that are here hustlers, like Chloe says, the correct terminology is typical men.
Typical
You know,
man.
because there are people that will be very quick to pick that up and say, not all men though.
That's true. And I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. There are men in this generation that,
Yeah, not
they want
all
the
men.
50-50.
Wendy Williams, her husband was, no, not really. What's her name? The other one. The one that does Love and Hip Hop.
Jones Love and Hip Hop.
Mona Scott.
Oh, he's a house husband.
The husband is a house husband.
That's their dynamic. That's what they agreed to.
Right,
So,
right. But beyond that, he doesn't mind that. A typical man minds that. A typical man will not just want to settle to be at home and the wife is just bringing in money. No matter how little that money is, the woman could be making a lot of money. He will still want to at least know that he goes to work. But again, that's not just a man. Like we're finding out, a lot of women are starting to find out that, I don't like the idea of just being home. They
want to balance.
I want to step out and do something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they could be saying that it could mean that physically, but it could also just be emotional issues. Sometimes when you're going through emotional issues, you're looking for different type of things to blame for it. Is it because I'm home? Is it because I married the wrong person? Is it because this guy is not really my best friend?
Especially if something that you've agreed to, like, no, this is what we're going to be doing, and then you're changing your mind.
Right. If you have a strong personality like that, it's an extremely difficult thing to go to him and say, I want to go to work. Now, she's finally working. She has a speech.
Yeah.
And
she has a podcast.
But the issues are not solved.
It's not. You can still see it in her.
Right? So the underlying issues are still there. Right? So she starts to work, but she's now feel the need. She's wanted to pass something by her husband, but he's not equipped to be able to handle that yet. And I get it. He's going to be like, he's probably will say, you know what? I'm just helping my wife. The real question is, are you helping your wife? Or you're doing what you think will help your wife?
He's definitely doing what he thinks.
Because
he ain't listening.
So, and then once, and she's not there yet where she will start using, because he's a respectable man, He works, takes care of the family, takes care of his family. He does that. But he feels like they're taking that away from him. That's insecurity. He feels like somebody is taking that accolade away from him. Right? Just because your woman said
she was lost in 2015.
I was lost in 2015, blah, blah, blah. So let's continue. Let's continue. That's
me doing what needs to be done for the family. And so when you make these things like, I lost myself, babe, we lose ourselves. You know why? Because we lost half of ourselves to be together. That's what marriage is about. It's about two people becoming one. But you have to give up part of who you are.
So the idea that we lose ourselves.
We lose half of ourselves to
we
be
lose
together.
half of ourselves to be in a marriage. And he said that so convincingly. Like I almost bought into it.
He believed in that. He believes in that.
That sounded like...
Nah, that's not true. We're supposed to be we're supposed to be self-sustainable, and so that then we come together and we build something massive. not lose half of ourselves to be together with somebody. No.
It's no wonder why their marriage is struggling. Now, it's been called out on past episodes on infidelity. I'm sure if I was to put money on it, I could be wrong. They are hiding that, and she's doing a terrible job hiding that that's an issue in their marriage.
She's been defensive about that.
Yeah.
So
that's something that we should also pay attention to. So, and the truth is that as human beings, we are driven by energy, right? So we have incredible radar for bullshit. We know when people are bullshitting us. We just know. How? I don't know. We just know. We just tell. Especially a woman can tell. Okay. So, and I found that out the hard way, you know. And hey, it may sound like maybe I'm being on the side of the woman here, but oh well. More importantly, I think everyone needs to learn how emotion works, both man and woman. Okay. If there's a gridlock like this situation, a man needs to be the leader. Being a leader doesn't mean you're the person that's talking the most.
Why are you being tough on the man? Why are you guys always saying the man has to be a leader? I mean, some people are totally confused by that.
Yeah. Usually that means you have to learn something new. Usually that means you should listen attentively and take that time to learn something new. Let's continue.
It's about two people becoming one. But you have to give up part of who you are. And if your goal is to get that back, you're going to get it back outside of marriage.
That's a threat.
All right. So he just managed to threaten his wife. He didn't use the D word, but he did. He might as well.
He said, you have to leave the marriage. OMG.
He might as well just use the D word.
Wow. I missed that when we're watching it. I just heard it.
Yeah, that's a threat. That's a threat. Why is it a threat? Because potentially she could receive it as a threat. Mm-hmm. So that makes it a threat. If one person, all you need is one person to receive that as a threat, you don't have to agree it's a threat before it becomes an active threat in that marriage and that relationship. So that's sad that he is like, again, the people that are talkers, I said that earlier in this edition of Marriage Issues, people that are talker have to be extremely careful. It's a good thing to be able to express yourself. Mm-hmm. It can become a terrible thing. It can become a terrible thing if you don't realize that there's a place you can get to that's going to be toxic. That's why a talker should really put some effort into listening, like active listening, and practice and read books on that. Don't assume you know what that is. Don't assume you can handle it listening, because a woman, especially insecure woman, will say things to you that makes you want to defend yourself. They will. That makes you want to defend what you're saying. They will say things to you that makes you want to defend what you're saying. And it's very important that you are emotionally strong to actively continue to listen while she expresses herself. And there's no need to feel like you have to respond right away. What's your take, baby? I want to hear a little bit from you before we continue.
I don't know. From people that talk a lot, I feel like some of them don't, like you said, they don't take time to listen. And when you don't take time to listen, there are chances that you don't take time to think. And you just start shooting nonsense out of your mouth. It's especially when it comes to your marriage, it's hurtful for you to say certain things to your spouse, be it a man, be it a woman. You want to take your time before you respond. And every time your spouse tells you that they have a problem with something, it doesn't mean that you are the problem. Yeah. They're just expressing to you.
Absolutely.
For the most part, they actually want you to help them feel better about themselves. That's not that's not when you now start to attack them and say, oh, so it's my fault that you are not feeling blah, blah, blah. So you're right. We have to just make sure we listen actively, because people don't even understand what listening is.
Yep.
Because by the time you finish, they're already there with their response. Yep. And they didn't hear a thing that you said. And I think that's what some women struggle with, being heard.
Right. And you will be tested. So, for example, he just got tested. As a man, you will be tested by all the women in your life, 100% of the time. It's not deliberate. They don't mean to test you. They're not looking for you to fail. It's just the way it is.
It's just being nice.
Okay. And he just got tested because everything in in that speech. For a weak man, and a weak doesn't mean it's a crime. We all start weak, right? It just means you have to pay attention to these things, right?
We all have weaknesses.
Yeah, he will take an offense. Back in 2015, I look at myself in the mirror and then I realized that I had lost myself. Dude, where was that? I'm your husband at that time. How could you lose yourself? You were paying no bills. Dude, it was not
But you're
about
having
you.
a ball. What do you mean you lost yourself?
It was not about you.
It's not about you, man.
It was not about you. That's hard truth. So, like you will find, if you're just patient enough to not say anything about this, you find that over time she will start appreciating the past. Again, we look into the past with rose gold color lens. I don't know if I said that right, but if you allow people, they look into the past with admiration, nostalgic feelings, things like that. You if people are not in your space and breathing down your nose and trying to force you to think, you look into the past, you reminisce about the best things about the past.
Yeah.
If you're in a very bad place right now, or you're
Can't
feeling
see the
emotionally
past.
choked up right now, you look into the past with the bad lens. So you see like it was just a mistake, it was a terrible mistake. That's how you see things. And that's why patience is very important. If you want patience, if you're having struggle with patience, you need prayer. Okay, you need prayer with that. Okay, let's continue here.
You didn't have to make a lot of adjustments. When we first got together, it was just you and I,
Tisha, what are
single.
you talking about making a lot of adjustments?
When you and I got married and we started having kids, I'm like, oh snap. All of my dreams was just about me, but now it's like I have a family. And it's like, okay, Tisha, put Tisha here, focus on your family. Focus on the kids. Then we decided for me to be a stay-at-home mom. So after that, that's when I started looking in the mirror. I was like, I got to figure me out again. I got to get to know who I am again, the new me.
When I want to be a better me, you know what that means? I want to be a better me because I want to be a better me for you.
All right, that's neediness. That's one of the signs. When I want to be a better me, I want to be a better me for you. There's nothing wrong with what he said. If it was said in the right time, it was said in the wrong context. When the person is saying, I wanted to find me, and by the way, she's starting to defend herself now, okay, which means she's receiving everything you're saying as an attack, but you still didn't catch yourself, okay? And then your response, or your, what do you call it? Your response to that is, your reaction to that is, when I want to be a better me, I want to be a better me for you.
How about for yourself?
That's neediness. That's neediness. You need her to agree with you
Validate.
now.
Yeah.
You need her to validate you. It's approval-seeking behavior, and it's camouflaged in a macho man who just wants to takes care of his family.
Well, what I'm hearing from her is she's overwhelmed. That is real.
Yep.
That's a real thing. I don't understand when people
But she's
don't
overwhelmed.
understand that.
How? She does nothing.
Baby, it doesn't matter if she does nothing. Now she's taking care of everyone. She's putting more of her energy into everyone, and she's leaving herself behind. That means she's not even enjoying anything for herself.
Yeah.
And you could get lost. You could really lose yourself in that moment.
All right, good. I'm actually happy that I have their picture. That's their picture on the screen if you're watching us.
Oh,
But
okay.
anyway.
That's what I said in my speech.
I'm just saying.
Oh, sorry. The idea of losing yourself to come into marriage is bullshit. You need to be 100%. Both parties need to be 100%. That's where happy marriages come from.
That's right.
You don't lose 50% and then you lose 50% and then suddenly we become happy. That's what holy people say. Okay? And it just never works.
Holy people.
Okay?
Oh,
all right.
my God.
Let's continue.
That when I don't want in your speech for you to be saying, you know, hey, I'm just doing me now.
So I don't want in your speech to be saying, hey, I'm just doing me now. Can you even review yourself as a controlling person even more than that?
It's concerned about what it looks like to other people. He doesn't want to hear that.
Doesn't want to hear her.
Yeah.
He's more concerned about what other people would think of him. If they hear that you were struggling. Did you know that it's actually a strength if you admit that once upon a time my wife struggled in our marriage?
Oh,
But he probably won't see that. Yeah, they're trying to protect everything they have left, but it's just crumbs. It's gonna. I believe in them. I think they love each other. I think they're gonna have to crash all the way to bottom before they build it back up. It's just extremely nasty.
My husband ain't done nothing, you know, because I don't
Why
want
would I say that? That's not being real.
I don't want to walk in.
But
I
why
don't
would
want to
I
walk
say
in.
that? Do I ever discredit you like that?
Yes.
I do?
Yeah, I was just telling you about that.
I discredit you. I was like, my husband don't do anything. I'm doing everything.
I discredit whatever discredit you like that. So he's feeling like they discredited him. We mentioned that earlier. And he said, whatever discredited you, whenever I discredited you like this, you just did. I was just telling you. Well, that's the weakest point for a man. Sorry. You
So he
know,
made it about himself.
it was all about him. He had to make it about himself. He doesn't know when to pull back and just say, you know what? Let me back off. Let me just take care of my woman emotionally. This is not about the financial right now. Okay, all that stuff doesn't make any sense when she's emotionally drained, and that's what this girl is. And the worst part about it right now, even her herself would not admit it because she wants to protect herself, the family,
And her family,
and especially him. She's trying to make like there's cameras there obviously, but it's just that it was too much and it's coming out.
Yeah.
And he hits that part right now, and it's coming out.
Anything, I'm doing everything.
Yeah, you said those words.
Really, Marsau?
I'm not a guy that needs, these are my responsibilities, but it kind of gets me a little bit when you make it seem like, oh my God, I was this stay-at-home mom, I had to do everything, and then...
I guess I was looking at it from this perspective, like, yes, you was working, but once you got off of work, you got a chance to go do whatever it is you want to do.
Stop
Like,
it.
you didn't have to worry about
When have I
finding a
been off work?
babysitter.
Whatever, okay.
At nighttime, when you're off of work and you hanging out with your friends.
Tell me what day of the year? What day of the year am I ever off work?
So she said, you go hang out with your friends. And he
And
goes,
she feels stuck
what
with
day
the
of the
kids.
year am I off? That's his defense. All right. By the way, the only thing that's really wrong with all of this is that he feels the need to argue with the woman. And somehow he thinks he's going to win. Well, that's not the only thing, but that's like a major thing. But that's also a sign of insecurity, but we keep going.
Marsau, you know what I'm saying. You don't have to worry about trying to find a babysitter, call around, ask people to watch the kids for you. You get to just get up and go. For me, I'm with the kids all the time. No, I have to find a babysitter. I just can't leave my kids.
Oh, shucks, you gotta find a babysitter. Dang.
That is the difference.
That's what I was doing earlier. You don't have no job. All you have to do is find a babysitter. That's too much for you.
Make a call and find a babysitter.
It wasn't as
Get
much
out
as
of
making
here.
a call.
Wow. You know what? I'm sorry, babe. I didn't realize how hard your life was.
Okay, so it's been sarcastic. Okay. And I think I should add that to the signs. That's one of the signs of an insecure man. They also become sarcastic. Maybe not insecurity, but it's a bad habit in a relationship to be sarcastic. Women do it a lot. Men do it a lot. Being sarcastic is terrible. It makes the other person feel terrible. And again,
Absolutely.
the quiet one, who is not normally the talker, finally they're saying something, but you're then making them feel like they need to continue to stay in their shell. Is a disaster that's brewing up, basically.
And he definitely right now he does not appreciate his wife. For him to say those things, he has taken her for granted.
Let's be fair to
Because
him.
it seems he thinks it's an easy job to just be a housewife. You're cleaning and taking care of the kids.
Right.
Oh, you couldn't find a babysitter. Oh, great. Like, yo, are you kidding me?
Yeah. So what the picture you're looking at is what it looks like before people go to court and calls it before people go to a court and calls it irreconcilable differences. What you're looking at is exactly what it looks like. Okay. So basically Martell and Melody are actually in a better place. I think they filed for divorce. They're in a better place now because perspectives will come like, wait, I'm about to lose this woman. Wait, I'm losing my family. Everyone will kind of step up now and see if they can save the situation.
This one does not know yet.
This one's there's like a slippery slope right now. It's extremely bad. If I were to predict, I'm not God, but human beings are predictable, basically, if you learn this stuff.
I do not need this distraction right now before I get ready to do my speech. Marsau always tell me, don't let anything distract you from your goals. And right now, He's the distraction.
What
So
do you
you're
want?
gonna come? You're gonna come to the event?
I got a lot of stuff to do, babe.
So she asked, "Are you gonna come to the event where she's
He
having a
got
speech?"
salty.
And
Oh my
his
God.
butt hurt.
He can't even support. He can't even
Oh, Joe.
be there for his wife. Be a fan for a minute. The spotlight is shifted from you
Listen,
for a minute to your
Let me be
wife.
fair to him. It's an extremely difficult when you're caught up in your feeling. Men don't like to admit that they can be caught up in their feeling.
Mhm.
When you're caught up in your feeling and you have to just step up and be a leader, it's difficult. It's very hard if you don't build yourself emotionally with respect to a marriage and a relationship. It can be very hard because all you're seeing is blank. You're just a woman who is narcissistic,
That's not
who
being
who
appreciated.
is not appreciative, who doesn't.
Mhm.
That's all you're seeing. And it takes a certain level of strength, emotional strength, to come to a place and say, but that's my woman. Maybe not now. Maybe she will come back and meet me in the middle later. Let me just be there for her in this
Just need
moment.
to breathe in this moment.
So you can be so butthurt where you now feel like I don't want to go support. Like butthurt is a real thing. Like you feel like I can't even believe she won't let me. And then so put a camera in front of them. So multiply that by 1,000 times effect.
Mhm.
The ego has been tested.
Yes,
It's a real
absolutely.
thing, and it can get really, really bad. All right. So, and I think it's going to get worse for these guys until they come back and hopefully become a real couple and be in a real marriage, for real. But right now, he's caught up in his feelings. He's not in a place where he can give to his lady outside of financial. He does that well. I think we got that clear. But he doesn't even feel that that's enough. If it was enough, he wouldn't feel the need to respond. So let's see here. We have Shirley is hanging out with us. Hi, Shirley. Shirley says
Hi, Shirley.
he's always like that.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen this show
Yeah.
now. We're a fan of the show, for 2 seasons, and we saw this from day one. Yeah, he's
So
a
predictable.
good guy, but it has nothing to do with good guy. Wrong, right, has nothing to do with that. Good guys lose their wife all the time, lose their family all the time.
Okay.
Good people lose their relationship all the time. Something new about that, right? All right. So let's dive in right now. I think that's pretty much. What do you think? You have anything to say about Marsau and love and marriage before we move on forward to the 14 signs of an insecure man?
I wish him good luck, especially with that energy he's putting on social media. I really wish him.
It's
good
too
luck.
much energy you need to put into your family that you're putting on social media. It's just too much, or into your business. Like, come on, how do you have time for that?
Right.
But I'm hopeful that was just an assistant that was replying.
Oh, okay.
He could be
It
that
could be.
petty.
Yeah, you
So
never
it
know.
could be that petty. Speaking of petty, let's go into 14 signs
Yes, let's
of
do
an
it.
insecure man.